Barca and City are currently in negotiation for the transfer of Joao Cancelo. More serious interest from Saudi Arabia for two Barcelona players, and Pedri talks about his possible move to Paris Saint-Germain and his future at Barca. For this and more news, welcome once again to this new Football Club Barcelona channel. This is Power FCB coming on to you guys with intriguing news concerning Football Club Barcelona, and I'm sure you will enjoy this video if you're a true Barcelona fan. And before we move on, I hereby wish to request you to subscribe to this new channel if you haven't yet, and if you have, don't forget to click that notification button and at least give a like down below. And I invite all of you under the comment section down below. You are free to comment, guys. And now let's jump straight into the news, because Fabrizio Romano reports that links between Barcelona and Manchester City concerning the transfer of Portuguese right-back Joao Cancelo have already begun. Barcelona want to use part of Ousmane Dembele fee from PSG, that's 25 million euros, to facilitate the transfer of Cancelo to Barcelona. Apparently, Cancelo and Barcelona have reached verbal agreement on personal terms, and since he has been on Xavi Hernandez's radar since January, before he went to Bayern Munich on loan, now Cancelo wants to join Xavi's side. He likes the idea of his agent and a close friend to Barcelona president Joan Laporta, that is Jorge Mendes, and now it's upon the clubs, that is City and Barca, to come to an agreement fast so as the transfer can officially be a here we go. The Sun reports that Manchester City have no intention whatsoever to keep Cancelo, and Cancelo himself wants to go away from City. His relationship with Pep Guardiola is still intense moment, and it's reported that Pep is pushing so hard for the departure of Cancelo from Manchester City. Surprise, surprise. Again, unlike before, Mundo Deportivo MD reports that Manchester City are willing to sell Cancelo on loan to Barcelona for around 10 million euros this summer, with an option for a further 40 million euro permanent move or permanent purchase next summer, which currently fits the Barcelona fair play and the wage cap situation. And now it's upon the clubs to finish the transaction, keeping in mind that Arsenal are also interested in Joao Cancelo. Saudi Arabian side Al Ahly are pushing for the signing of Emerge Kessie from Barcelona, and currently they are awaiting for Kessie's final decision, bearing in mind that Kessie is not in Xavi's plans, and Xavi Hernandez himself have already communicated to Kessie concerning this idea. This was also evident in Barcelona pre-season tour, where Kessie only featured in 1 out of 3 matches, and that was the first match against Arsenal, of which he came on as a substitute in the second half. Unlike before, Kessie is willing to leave Barca, but he's against the idea of Saudi Arabian move. He only favors Premier League move, and the situation may force him to settle. And if the situation may force him to settle for less, he would rather go to Italian side Juventus. Again, on Saudi Arabian club. Saudi Arabian side, Cristiano Ronaldo's Al Nassr are eyeing a move for Barcelona centre-back Clement Lenglet, and are willing to pay the 15 million euros Barcelona wanted before the negotiation with Spurs fell 2 weeks ago. Lenglet is not in Xavi Hernandez's plans, and he's yet to play any match for Barcelona in the preseason tour or the friendlies. He's currently one of the most paid players at the club, and Barca sees this operation suitable for the club in terms of financial fair play. Pedrinho Gonzalez, known as Pedri, denies the PSG move. He said that he has no intention to joining Paris Saint-Germain after some reports came out last week concerning his move to Paris Saint-Germain with a 110 million release clause in his contract, though was later found out not to be true. With an interview after the last preseason match against AC Milan, Pedro said that he's not planning to leave Barcelona anytime soon. He's happy at the club, and his intention is to stay at Barca for many more years and to be a captain for Barcelona. This is his goal in life. It signifies how the rumors were wrong and how Pedro is committed to Barcelona. His loyalty to the club is natural, not like Ousmane Dembele, the PSG player that has been in Barcelona for the past 5 years. Yes, by God, I'm just kidding. Dembele, by the way, has already landed in Paris, ready to undertake his medical with PSG, and it's a here we go very soon. Barcelona gave the green light, and The agreement has already been reached between Barcelona, PSG, and Dembele concerning the transfer fee, and the private clause is killing us, is messing up with Barcelona's financial expectation, and now we are going to earn that 25 million euros. Now, Barcelona rounded up their preseason tour with a 1-0 victory over AC Milan. Thanks to Ansu Fati Stunner Screamer. That was a golazo in the second half after the beautiful run and pass from Balde. The first match was cancelled, of course. Let's have a look of how Barcelona tour was. The first match against Juventus was cancelled due to illness from a significant number of Barcelona players who were suffering from stomach virus. So we had to cancel that match, of which again affected Barcelona financial expectation. We lost around 4 million euros from that cancellation of that match. In the second match, 2 days later, I think it was 2 to 3 days later, we lost 5-3 the first preseason match against Arsenal. Xavi Hernandez complained about Arsenal intensity the way they approached the game. It was the first match for Barcelona, training for around 2 weeks and maybe 1 week as a team. And again, being affected by the virus, we had around only 1 day to train before the match against Arsenal. And now we are playing a very good Arsenal this was their fourth match actually. And they beat us 5-3. I understand, it's understandable. It's the first match of the season. It's a friendly, it has no any significance. We lost 5-3. Nice from Ferran Torres, Rafinha, and Lewandowski's goal. Then the next match, it was 3 days later, we played El Clasico against our rival Real Madrid. We were victorious as usual. We dominated Spain. We beat Real Madrid by 3-0. Thanks to Fermin Lopez Crema Stunner. That was wonderful. And that dribble that made him assist again to Ferran Torres. That chip from Ferran Torres and twist and turn. And he scored. That was wonderful. The first goal was the most interesting. Tiki-taka move by Ilkay Gundogan, Pedri, and Paris Saint-Germain player that has been in Barcelona for the past for the past 6 years. That is Ousmane Dembele, and that was wonderful. The last match was against AC Milan. We won by a goal to nil. This was one of the most interesting matches because we dominated AC Milan from the word go, regardless of the number of scores. It was a narrow 1-0, and credit be given to Ansu Fati. He has shown how much he has improved as a player in the preseason. Actually, in the end of last season, preseason, and right now, Ansu Fati is another version of Ansu Fati. The Ansu Fati that we wanted to see is the number 10 that we wanted to have at Barcelona. By the way, highlight of the preseason is that Gavi never featured in any of the preseason friendly. I personally felt for him because he was the most affected player with the stomach virus, and he has been having a lot of discomforts in the preseason, but now he's back. I hope he'll play in the Joan Gamper Trophy that we are going to play Spurs from England in a few days' time. And now, up to that point, before I close this video, I hope you have been enjoying the video. I have a question on to you guys, to all the QLS all over the world. Who or which player is the one who impressed you the most? Talk of Oriol Romeu, Fermin Lopez, Yamin Yamal, Ferran Torres, Marc-Andre ter Stegen, Abde Ezalzouli, or whoever. I mean, I personally, I think Oriol Romeu is the player who impressed me the most, and of course he shocked me. I mean, I was against the signing of Oriol Romeu, but kudos to Xavi Hernandez for signing Oriol, because I even wanted Xavi to go for Guido Rodriguez of Real Betis instead of Oriol Romeu. I never wanted this signing. I hated this signing, but now I agree with Xavi Hernandez 100%, because Oriol Romeu is the perfect replica of Sergio Busquets. The way he has been playing since day one, since the game against Arsenal, like in a Clasico, in AC Milan. I wanted us to play even another match so as to see this guy. I enjoy watching Oriol Romeu. The way he does his work defensive-wise and offensive-wise is the perfect replica of Sergio Busquets. I don't know why on earth did we let go of Oriol Romeu a long time ago, but it's understandable. This is the guy who impressed me the most, because this guy was bossing the midfield. He gave Frankie de Jong that version of Frankie to roam around the midfield, the pitch, box-to-box player that we used to see at Ajax, the version of Frankie de Jong we have been seeing in this preseason, and we want to see that. Unlike the time they were with Busquets, and Frankie de Jong was not that feeling the security of going to and fro every time because Busquets was vulnerable defensively. Oriol Romeu is 3 times Sergio Busquets defensively. He's better 3 times than Sergio Busquets. The only thing that Busquets beats Romeu is offensive wise, and the way he reads the game is, I think he's twice better than Romeu, but we want that Romeu-like profile in our team because of Frankie de Jong. We have seen how Frankie de Jong has been the best midfielder in all over the preseason. I mean, no player is better than Frankie de Jong in the midfield. Yes, I repeat that. That's according to me anyway. Fermin Lopez, he impressed against Real Madrid, the second player that impressed me. He scored and assisted in El Clásicos. This is one of the biggest matches that you use to measure the quality of the players you have, and Fermin Lopez have proven that. The first match against Arsenal, he came as a substitute. He never played for a long time. I cannot judge him. Against AC Milan again, he played for a very short. He played in the first half. It was so good. But Fermin Lopez also impressed me very, very much. Ferran Torres with 2 goals in 3 games. Ferran Torres has cemented his spot in the squad ahead of next season. Barcelona will no longer sell him, of course. I don't want to see any swap deal between Joao Felix and Ferran Torres. But if it happens, I have no problem. If Ferran Torres goes to Atletico and we have a direct swap deal, no transactional money for Joao Felix, I'm okay with that. But if he stays, I'm also okay with that. Marc-Andre ter Stegen against El Clásico, this man is on another level. We have the best goalkeeper in the world. The way Real Madrid saw it hard to penetrate in the defense of Barcelona, the Araujo, Koundé, Christensen, Balde. I mean, that defense is so hard to penetrate in. So the only option they had and the best they could do, because they have quality of players who can do that, is to shoot from far. And you know what? We have the wall, the German wall. Marc-Andre ter Stegen, Ansu Fati, man, this guy has, the spark is back. They dribbles, the take-ons, one-on-one versus Arsenal, versus in Madrid, versus against Real Madrid, and again to cap it all, versus AC Milan, and he scored the screamer, man. The number 10 we wanted Barcelona is here with Ansu Fati in the prison. Let's see what's gonna happen in the La Liga and the Champions League, and I wanna see Ansu Fati in the Joan Gamper playing against Spurs. That's a good measure of his quality again. Abde was so good, very good. I mean, he was about to join Real Betis, but Xavi said, no, excuse me, let me see what Abde will do. And Abde is on another level. This guy is a genius, man. At the age of 20, Abde Ezalzouli playing, he's not yet 20. I'm not sure, but he's not yet 20. Abde is something else. Let's keep this guy. Let's not loan Abde out. Let's keep him for the first half of this season. If he doesn't get that first spot, then you can loan him out again and help in his growth. Jules Koundé. No. Jules Koundé, man. Koundé, I've never been impressed by Koundé, but he was good in the preseason. And many other players you can mention. Let me know your thoughts under the comment section down below. Which of the players impressed you and why? And again, you can also feel free to say which of the players did not certainly meet your expectation during the preseason. For like we all know that Lewandowski is a striker, is all known for goals. I mean, Lewandowski means goals. He hasn't yet scored in any of the matches, man. All the 3 matches against Arsenal. Oh, he scored against Arsenal the first goal. In El Clásico, he never scored. He's not that sharp. In the first match again, he was not that sharp. AC Milan, he did not score. Man, I don't know what's happening, but let's hope Lewandowski version will click with time as time goes by. Up to that point, we come to the end of today's episode of Power FCB. Feel free to subscribe, feel free to comment, feel free to like and to like down below. Visca Barca, Visca Catalonia. We come to the end of today's episode.